all systems go. You know, I would be independent by the nickel more than I would be dependent by the dollar any day, any hour. Which is to say, if a stranger, like drives by and hands me $1, then to me that's better than going to some shelter where, it's like I get 3 meals and a place to sleep or any of that crap. It's like I need $1 that's actually mine, that I have independent autonomy and authority over, more than I need somebody else to be given $100 to take care of me. And that's what I choose and prefer, and I'll put them against you no matter who you are, any day, any hour. Because they actually do provide for me. And it's like this isn't manna from heaven. This is the generosity of others. And so I can save it all I want and it won't get maggots. I think that a lot of the time people want to bully me, or rather, maybe not, but I sometimes feel like people want to bully me in the name of somebody else. Like I guess that would be like trying to Jesus me and say, okay, look, we can't have panhandlers. And it's like, well, you know what? You should make a distinction between panhandlers. I think there's a difference between a panhandler with a shopping cart and a panhandler just by himself. And maybe my bicycle is just, an inglorious shopping cart, but I don't know. I think it's different somehow. Maybe that's just me. And that kind of segues into something else I was thinking about earlier. I walked into a Best Buy and saw a computer that was just like my other one, only a little bit better. And I thought to myself, I could buy this and still have $50 left. But then I decided, right then and there pretty much, that I don't need it. Now my next stop was the library, and so I didn't do any writing. I just don't give a shit. It's like I can take a break on the writing for a while, because if I were to read it, read every last bit of everything I've written live, to an audience, I would be reading forever. It's like I would never get it all read. And, well, I don't know. I get pissy because it seems like a lot of this shit, uh, what's a good way to put it? Uh, like I already know the story. And so it seems like I've got an infinite amount to write. I already know both of these stories, and so it seems like I've got an infinite amount to write. And so it's kind of hard to get into it because I make it up way faster than I write it. But, I make it up faster than I write it down. But, anyway, like I said, so I think if I had that computer, I would always be worried about it. I would have to be taking it with me. It'd be a dead weight. Like right now, I could just say, hey, I'm going to leave my bicycle parked, locked up here in a relatively safe place overnight. If I met a chick I could run off with or something, and, like I said, I'd just do that. I'd leave my bike parked. I don't even give a shit. I got a few extra changes of clothes in the bag, and that's it. It's nothing that I have to worry about. Whereas if I had a computer, that might make things more difficult. Speaking of which, it wasn't what I would call cold, and it was fine for me to just like tuck up in my sweatshirt last night. But it seems like it suddenly changed to fall weather, just one day. Like yesterday night, it wasn't like that, and tonight it was like that. And so I should probably get some blankets or something, but, well, I don't know. I made a deposit into the bank and replaced all the money. Not all the money, but 3/4 of the money I took out that I couldn't afford, or purportedly couldn't afford. And that's a good thing, but I don't know. I guess that if I want to do any reading, I'll have to replace it. It just seems so much like, it feels like a hassle. It's like, I think circle jerking bullies telling me to get down the road piss me off. But that doesn't mean I don't want to go down the road. It just means it's like I do it on my schedule and not yours. You know, that I believe that such demands are unlawful and unfounded. You know, and, well, I don't know. It's like I am not good at making connections. I should be more specific. Like I had this spaz fit and was talking about some fag that was always picking on me and trying to step between me and women. And it's like I made that up. That is not real. That did not come from anywhere. It was just a weird spaz fit kind of having weird craziness thing to say. And I said, well, I eventually solved it with violence, and that's when the chick got pissed off and left. But, you know, like I said, when things like that happen, it's always disappointing. It's a setback. And I gotta wonder, it's like, why do I always kind of freak out and, you know, let weirdness kind of crop in my thought process and interfere with normal social interactions? You know, it's like, well, I don't know. She was kind of fucking around talking about Jesus and her boyfriend, and it's like, I'm really getting sick and tired of this shit. I really ought to just say, well, this conversation is over the next time a chick mentions Jesus or her boyfriend. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say or her boyfriend because chicks be like that. They do that shit. They're like, I have a boyfriend. Now prove you want it. And like, they really do. I mean, I've never, well, I don't know if a chick's ever lied to me about that just to make me express myself and see how much I wanted it and would ignore it. But, you know, having known some chicks, you know, just as friends behind the scene, I know that they do that. They'll just say they have a boyfriend even when they don't, just to see if, you know, just to see if you'll say, oh, fuck him, he's not here. Still, I just wish things wouldn't be harder than they have to be. You know, it's like I make things so hard on myself. Anyway, I tried to call John the other day, John Fleming, and he didn't answer the phone, and so I left him a nasty text message saying, you know what, I remember that time I was at your house, and you just like woke me up in the morning and was like, get the fuck out of my house for no goddamn reason. And I was thinking to myself, after 3 years of training the way I've had, I would have beat his goddamn ass and dragged him out of his own house by his ear. I don't even give a shit. You know, you want to get physical, it's like he's bigger than me, but I'd beat his clowning ass, and that's no lie. And so I think it's best to steer clear because he has kind of a heroin baby thing happening. I don't know what it is. Me, I think I'm born with like the calmest temperament that ever was, but in my upbringing, it's like I really got a shit ton of bad examples. It's like I'm a little bit on the autistic side, and my mother really just kind of pressed that example of throwing tantrums. And I think that every last bit of the non-comatose waking life I kind of display comes from that. And, well, I don't know. Like I said, I guess I was talking normal and then took a turn for the weird. Still, though, I think I'm dealing with it. You know, these videos are all the same. These days are all the same. I'm never, well, I am making progress, but, you know, like I said, I just converted 2 movies I saw from, you know, withdrawal from the bank to damn near free. And that's a good one. That's, you know, what I should be focused on. It's like, damn, it's so hard for me to just stay focused on the stuff I do right. It's like, I don't know, like I said, I'm just reliving all those terrible times. It's like, oh, that house isn't really clean, it's just straight. It's like, well, you may have done this right, but you did this wrong. This wrong is what we're going to focus on. I just feel like that. I feel judged. I feel, well, I don't know. Like I said, I'm plugging away at my own life and getting it done. It's not very interesting or, you know, not scaled, but I feel like I do it with some measure of excellence, and that's enough for me. But like I said, I did have a weird retarded spaz fit when I was talking to that chick, and that's not good. And so I hope I can avoid it in the future. And just be normal. I think freaking out about being weird makes me act weird sometimes, and I need to knock it off and just be normal. I'm sure it would feel great over and out.